from St. Louis Public Radio. This is St. Louis on the Air.
We want it to function like a normal bar, live music, bands, jukebox.
It's not really about anti-drinking. It's about pro-socializing. How do you get somebody to constantly be desiring that taste and that flavor?
And crave it.
And crave it. How do you take away that social pressure? And it's about giving them that option.
I'm Elaine Cha. For many, holiday and New Year's parties go glass in hand with alcoholic drinks. For others, a low or zero proof beverage is a better choice. And we're not just talking Shirley Temples here. There's a whole world of, quote, mocktails out there waiting to be properly appreciated. What better time than mid-December to explore that world? Today, we've got a mixtical guide in studio. Meredith Berry, co-owner and operator of Platypus in St. Louis's Grove Business District and beverage researcher at La Verta STL. Welcome, Meredith.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, great. So glad that you're here today. So let's start with what I had said in the intro, which was, quote, mocktail. All right. What is a mocktail?
I really like to say more that it's a zero proof cocktail. It's kind of mocktail is kind of, demeaning in a way. And really it's about not really the absence of alcohol, but the inclusivity of having people have a good time in a party without being mentally altered.
Right. So it's less about what is missing and what is added.
Yes.
Okay.
I like to think of that as kind of this, wanting it to, I guess it's an advertisement, so to speak, of how we should think about it in a positive way now in modern times. Because in the past it was kind of a mocktail and just soda water with bitters, maybe just cranberry and soda, or just a mix of different juices. And it's really about kind of changing our perception and destigmatizing.
Mm-hmm. And mock certainly does seem to carry a negative connotation, like you're right. Getting or settling for an inferior version of an original.
Right.
So what is I'm going to try not to use the term mocktail as we're talking. Can you tell me about the first zero proof mixed drink you had that sort of, it turned on the light bulb in your mind about what possibilities are out there?
Yeah, I think the very first mocktail, zero proof cocktail that I had, we were calling it Spirit Free at the time. Julia Mimose in Chicago, she was creating drinks with seedlip. It was a spirit-free. It is a spirit-free option with more adult-like flavors.
Okay.
Different kinds of, they have a citrus version, a garden version, and then a spiced version. And I had that cocktail and I was like, oh, this is what it could be. A culinary experience, not just, just a mix of pineapple and cranberry and orange juice, but something that's more elevated.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like also decidedly more adult in the profile?
Absolutely.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
I think that was probably 8 years ago.
Okay, so it's quite some time then.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your first attempt at creating a mixed drink of a similar kind?
Yeah, I went for something very adult, a martini. Something that you wouldn't expect as being in a zero-proof cocktail or a mocktail. I went for something just completely out there, not juicy and fruity and sweet, but something dry and vegetal forward, to see if I could really recreate a martini, which you expect to be kind of savory.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a fan of martinis, so that sounds like something appealing, definitely. before we go forward, I'd like to invite you into this conversation about spirit and alcohol-free cocktails. If you have a question or comment about this topic, give us a call at 314-382-8255. That's 382-TALK, or you can send us a tweet at STL on air or email us at talk@stlpr.org. Meredith, you are co-owner and operator of Platypus, and you also do beverage research, which sounds like a very cool job.
It's pretty fun.
Tell us a little bit about the business aspect for zero-proof drinks. It is reportedly growing. How has that been true at Platypus?
It's growing astronomically. We are constantly having guests show up and ask for a bar choice, where a bartender is just creating off the cuff based on questions that they ask a guest of what flavor profiles that they like, that has a zero proof, so they can enjoy their evening and still party with everybody without drinking, with no questions, right? And so many people, to the point we just put up our own non-alcoholic chalkboard. We have a chalkboard there. We change our cocktails on a constant basis every single week. We don't really have a set menu. We like to be very creative. So we decided that we should dedicate an entire 5 more cocktails and a specific menu just for people that want to do spirit-free.
Well, and one of the spirits that has been mentioned here, we've got an email from Rachel who says, I want to give a shout out to our family favorite, Pinckney Bend tonic syrup. Okay, I'm getting some, you recognize that, Meredith. It's pink, and while it might not be the norm for a gin and tonic, the botanicals are spot on, much more live than a generic bottled tonic. And the pink is fun for the rest of us, for delicious non-alcohol sparkling tonic, a must-have for any shelf. So I'm assuming it is somewhere on your shelf as well?
We don't have that yet, but I've had it before, and I think it's fantastic. We kind of create our own tonic syrups. We have fun creating it on our own. But Pinckney Bend, local, just incredible. Mm-hmm. It's all about really making sure that you have extra flavors, that somebody's not missing out on the actual liquor that's in the drink.
And is there something about the liquor that hampers your capacity to fully savor flavors?
Yeah, well, in a cocktail, when you're using a liquor and why you want to use, we're tending to go towards this new avenue of spirit-free or zero-proof libations. Liquor creates body and texture in a cocktail, as well as nuanced flavor profiles, whether it's bourbon with those vanilla notes, smoky notes, or talking about gin, lots of juniper and fresh lime and lemon and grapefruit. It's kind of, that is necessary within a spirit-free as well.
And as you're describing those, I can smell all the things that you're describing. So it's very sensorially evocative.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we want. We want it to be a sensory experience. I mean, I think that's when we talk about a culinary experience with liquid, whether it's, alcohol or non-alcoholic. It's a sensory experience. And it's also an inclusive community experience, because that's what bars are. Bars are community spaces. They're supposed to be inclusive. And how do we make them more inclusive? It's about continuing to have alternatives for people.
And people is important in that so many of us, when we do have drinks that have alcohol, we are enjoying those in a space with others. What are some of the special non-edible ingredients that you have added to not what's in a glass, but in the atmosphere, to give people what they feel like they might miss if they have a drink that doesn't have alcohol in it?
Yeah, it's about camaraderie. People also don't want to feel that social pressure. Mm-hmm. It's how do you take away that social pressure? And it's about giving them that option. And also, non-edible, but it also, the edible aspects of it are like making that garnish so crazy beautiful that everybody's asking, what's that awesome drink? And they can be like, it's specially made for me.
Is there a crowd favorite among those garnishes?
We do these really beautiful grapefruit feathers with the zest. So we peel the zest and then we manicure them into these really stunning like feathers that sit on top of the glass. So it's giving you the aromatics of that grapefruit, that super zesty kind of peppery, citrusy feel. But it's also just stunning to look at. And you put a little flower in it, and I love it.
That sounds like something I would want to take home after enjoying the drink. What are some of the reasons that you have heard folks voluntarily share with you or those at Platypus about choosing a low or zero proof drink over one that has alcohol in it?
I think it's different for everybody. I think that, it's all about what your personal experiences, maybe your relationship with alcohol wants to change. Maybe you just want to proof down your night. You start out drinking, but you want to have a good day in the morning, and so you start proofing yourself down. You go to a low proof, and then by the end, you're drinking something that still tastes fantastic. But you are kind of like giving yourself a little bit of time to, process that alcohol so then you don't feel terrible in the morning, which is fantastic.
And one of the things that reminds me of is, I have a child and I was nursing. And after that period was over, the first drink I had, it knocked me out.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just was not accustomed to having that in my system. Mm-hmm. And what I ordered, I'd wanted to enjoy the flavors of it. So, what you're offering at Platypus and what also is available at places like the Mocktail Lounge in St. Charles certainly sounds like something that would be right for somebody sort of returning.
That's a great way to put it, returning to kind of like your social night out and wanting to be there and possibly like getting back into the alcohol scene if you know, because it's not really about anti-drinking. It's about pro-socializing.
That's a great way to think about it. We are talking now with Meredith, who is the co-owner and operator of Platypus in St. Louis's Grove Business District. And to mix things up, so to speak, we'd also like to welcome Beth Lockwood, who's the owner and operator of the place I just mentioned, the Mocktail Lounge in St. Charles. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we are talking about what it takes to make the experience of social drinking one that is enjoyable for everyone, including those who choose drinks that don't have alcohol in them. Beth, from your standpoint as the owner of a business, are there advantages that you see in this growing trend toward or interest in low and zero proof drinks?
I see lots of advantages. I mean, the outcomes of drunk driving and addiction and, more people in recovery now than I think ever. So the advantage of that is great. Mm-hmm. And to have places that offer, more choices than just whatever soda, water, or juice they can mix, I think is a wonderful thing.
Right. And given sort of the uptick that we saw all around with alcohol consumption during the pandemic in particular, it seems like maybe there's a trend for those making different choices.
Oh, I agree. And I think our neighborhood bars, especially during COVID, have all a lot of them have weaned away, closed down. That older generation that went to the bar because that's how you got promoted. That's how, connections were made and everything. Those are far and few between these days, especially after COVID.
Right.
But people still want to go out and have a social experience. It's all about the atmosphere. I think even regular, full alcohol bars from day one, that's what they're actually selling. Is the ambiance, the atmosphere.
And
it's not the alcohol.
Yeah. What are some of the elements of ambiance or atmosphere that at the Mocktail Lounge you were really carefully curating?
I was going to say right now it's kind of a hot mess because I just took it over. And so we are in transition. So we were themed a 1940s kind of speakeasy back alley lounge. It was very fancy. It wasn't bringing in, the abundance of the next generation and everything that are choosing this as well. We're close to Lindenwood. There's other colleges around. And so we are making it more hip, more fun. We want it to function like a normal bar, live music, bands, jukebox. We're ditching the chandeliers and the peony walls for like Zen art pop graffiti wall. And so that is all transition happening within the next 3 weeks.
So what about that resonates with you, Meredith?
Yeah, I mean, it's like bringing the party.
Exactly. And
Bring the party.
that's what people want. That's why they go out.
Yeah.
They drink the alcohol because that is what's served.
Right.
But
It's really about the people that are there and hanging out with your friends and having a great time.
100%.
We did this huge zero proof party for Pride because we were like, hey, there's so many people going out for Pride. There's plenty of places for people to drink and imbibe in alcohol. Why don't we create a space that's inclusive of everybody, because that's what Pride is. And so we did drag shows. We had a DJ. We had fire spinners. It was about people getting together and having a great time, regardless of what you feel like doing.
Exactly. And you're just accepted.
Yeah.
We started having First Friday dance nights, and we have Dance St. Charles that comes in for instructors. And it is such a melting pot of everybody and anybody that come from everywhere. And it's a blast. We clear all the tables and everything because that's the amount of room we need.
That's cool.
Well, it sounds like there's a considerable amount of very intentional community collaboration that is possible
There
when
has
you
to be.
approach
It takes a village.
things in that way, right? Now, when it comes to the drinks, people are curious about this. We got a tweet from Sean who writes, I know a lot of tonic syrups use agave as a sweetener, and that comes from cactus, right? I'm allergic to that. Do you have any suggestions for non-agave tonic syrups?
Honey.
Okay, honey.
I mean, honey is a great one. We use it. We make one right now for Christmas with honey and mint and lime and everything. I'm getting away from all of the simple syrups and the Tiranis. I'm trying to with the flavored seltzers that are out there and all natural that have come to market in a flavor and just the fresh fruit. And I think there's just 100 other ways to sweeten things. We have.
Oh, yeah.
We even carry all the sugar-free whole line from whipped cream and ginger beer.
Monk fruit is really great if you're making your own. Monk fruit is fantastic. Stevia can be really great. You just have to be careful because it is actually sweeter in flavor profile.
Truvia is
exactly.
a good one too.
If you want to make your own. I don't really know of any on market particularly right now because we make our own, so I'm not really.
Yeah, we have made a lot of our own. The original owner did a lot of the Tirani syrups, and so I have an abundance of sugar-free ones right now in my pantry. But
I mean, that is the thing about zero proof. It's also about
purees.
Wellness, right?
Yes.
You're thinking about your wellness.
So we do fresh fruit muddles and different things, and we make them fresh like each day or every other day, because we're only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday right now. But so the muddles, the fresh fruit, the purees, any of those kind of things will help sweeten it naturally.
So with all of these different ingredients that can go into a zero proof or low proof beverage, what are the elements that make a good mocktail?
For lack of a better term.
I was going to say, for me, I have found you have to stay away from the sweet, sickening sweet. Because, I mean, it's just like dessert. That's what you have last. And once you have that, you're done. You don't want any more. So I find it to be like airy or citrus, something bubbly and, just once you want another one.
Yeah, light and refreshing usually works.
Yeah, perfect. Or something new.
Yeah, that's usually going to go to most people's flavor profile and what they're looking for.
Yeah.
We like to keep all of our non-alcoholic and zero proof very cold because the least amount of dilution is the best. Alcohol needs dilution. Spirit-free does not need dilution, not
Right.
as much dilution, right? But we still want some aeration in
We
there.
do frozen ones, slushies, Slurpees, smoothies, iced coffees,
Our
cold
frozen
brew.
NA.
I can freeze anything.
Yeah.
We can blend anything. I tell people the sky's the limit. What's your flavor profile? What would you get at 7-Eleven? Or
Yeah.
something like that on a hot day.
So
Yeah.
as far as cool and literally cold, and then
We do hot too, though.
what are your thoughts on pre-mixed zero-proof spirits on the market today? Can they be
Cool
good
Mocks
ingredients?
is one that made me actually get into it. And the woman who started that, because I saw her on crowdfunding site or whatever, and her story, but it raised so much money and there was such a growing need for it. I actually carry that one. That's one of the only ones besides like the groovies and stuff.
Okay. How about a platypus?
We carry quite a few when it comes to like soda waters and seltzers. We carry Liquid Death. I think
yeah, I know that one, yeah.
really
What is Liquid
fantastic.
Love
Death?
it.
It's a water.
It's just a
company.
water. It's like
And they're
pure.
Yeah, and they only do cans. They're all about getting rid of plastic.
Right
Death
from the
to
ground.
plastic is
Yeah.
their whole thing, which I think is fantastic. But they've got a severed lime. They've got like this mango one that's fantastic, this berry. And they just have regular soda water and a beautiful mountain water. So we have the whole lineup, and it's great to put into your either just drink on its own.
like those. Well, we carry different lines
drink
of
on
those
its own,
that
or you
we
can put it
mix.
into a cocktail. Then we have Ritual. Ritual is fantastic. I think they're,
Clean.
Clean.
Clean is the preferred where we are in St. Charles.
Yeah.
The clean brands.
At least the Ritual and Bear. Zero.
Ritual, I think, was one of the first. that
Yeah.
hit the market here.
And now there's Liars. There's Bear.
So clearly
There's a lot.
Even
It's so
Tanqueray
big.
has a
broad
zero proof.
range.
There's Gia. There's
so many.
Even Giffard that does all of the alcohol liqueurs has their
Yep.
own Giffard aperitif.
Yes,
so
I
if
do.
you want a Negroni,
You can make
get
it.
You can get a Nogroni.
A no
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Well, and in the
beautiful.
morning, if you have too many of them, not groaning with a hangover. So, Meredith, you recently competed on the new Netflix show, Drink Masters, where judges and contestants, they frequently discussed whether a drink was balanced, right? What does balanced mean, and how do you make sure a zero-proof drink is balanced?
That's a really good question. Balanced has to do with the level of sweetness to the level of acid that's in your drink. So it's a little different balancing a zero proof cocktail as opposed to a cocktail with a spirit. With the spirit, also balance has to do with, are you getting enough of the spirit, but also not so much that this burn is happening, right? Highlighting the specific flavor profiles that you are looking for, depending on what spirit, to come out into that cocktail and harmoniously through a sip. And usually I do that with, if you're dealing with a citrus element or a fruit element, it's balancing that sweetness and acid out. It's also, if you're doing an old fashioned, you want a little bit of bitter to come through because there's that sweetness. So tart, right? I also am always looking for the acid level of wine. I'm always looking for that because I like wine a lot. So in
Carry
cocktails,
quite a few
right?
different wines now, and I'm always excited when I find a new vendor or creator.
I also cook down. Sometimes I cook down wine to
to
take out the
de-alcoholize.
alcohol, and make a cordial that can be used into a spirit-free cocktail. So now the alcohol is gone, but you're getting this really cool nuances of the wine that you used for your drink. It's all about how do you get somebody to constantly be desiring that taste and that flavor.
And crave it.
And crave it.
And crave it. Like people say, oh, I want a Jack and Coke, or whatever, because that's what they're used to or that's what they drink. And now people are saying, oh, I want a mock mule, but it's really a mock mule. It's a mocktail mule,
Yeah.
And they crave that.
And craving is part of what makes it possible for you to make a living, right?
Correct.
Is it a profitable business to be this forward on zero and low proof?
It is, and it's going to be.
Okay. What makes you so sure about that?
All statistics, all analysis, and everything like that, and all market research data shows that this is the trend. My kids are 25 and 22. This is the next generation. They're health conscious, they're vegan, they're, choosing to eat healthier, work out, be more active. They're not choosing to sit in a smoky bar anymore. They're not even smoking anymore.
That's true.
I
worked in those bars.
I did too. My whole life as a second job. I had kids really young. And I was the bartender who did not drink behind the bar because I also had a day job.
Yeah, there's also pressure for people to drink behind the bar still. And I think, you want to be a part of that camaraderie with people getting you shots. But
mine was always Sprite in a bomb cup if they insisted. They didn't know it was Sprite in a bomb cup. Yeah. I just called it a bomb diffused.
That's nice. That's smart. I did that too, a little Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly.
Not saying that I'm innocent here, because I've done it a few times. But I think...
but people want somebody to drink with if they're drinking.
Yeah, and now there's these spirit-free, these zero-proof spirits that are coming out, really, is what we call them. And Bear is coming out with a Fernet, which is a huge...
And what is a Fernet?
Fernet is an Italian bitter Amaro made with roots and herbs. Some people think it's absolutely horrifying. I tend to really like it.
You either love it or hate
Each their own,
love it or
right?
hate it. So now it's also a very much a bartender drink. So bartenders across the world, it's kind of this bartender's handshake. Hey, have a Fernet with me. Okay. So now to have a zero proof Fernet that you can share behind the bar and also continue to work
it brings
really
it all
awesome.
together.
Yeah.
What are your observations from working zero proof events and serving sober customers?
I love my sober customers. I mean, I loved my drunk ones too back in the day. They were but we are still a bar family. And we have regulars and they come in continuously and we get to know them on a different level. And nobody's worried about somebody having a fight really in their bar, or my bathrooms at the end of the night are amazing.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Bet.
The cleanliness that stays.
Sure.
And the respect, actually, just given.
Yeah.
Is wonderful.
And mine's not
acceptance.
altered, so there's a difference in, definitely attitude that can come into a big space like that where you have a lot of people imbibing. And I also, what I appreciate in those people is that they're not looking to just get a soda water, which we just give for free. We don't charge people. They want to give money to the establishment so they can continue to go out. Mm-hmm. And that's, we got to keep the lights on, right?
Yes.
Right, exactly. We started doing stuff with the whole recovery, NAAA and stuff. We have a lot of that market that comes in.
Today's episode was produced by Emily Woodbury with audio engineering and podcast design by Aaron Dorr.
Our production intern is Avery Rogers. Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Our podcast proudly supports St. Louis artists by using music from Life Creative Group.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations, and leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thank you.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to conservation and careful management of the state's forests to make them more resilient and better habitats for wildlife. ChooseWood.com.